Coming up on the October 9th edition of Carolina Week. Beer cans and pizza boxes scattered all over the business school lawn. They're remnants from students camping out for tickets to this weekend's big game. See how Tar Heels are showing their spirit.
And Carolina students approached about modeling. First, they'll have to dish out some cash. Is this a serious job option? Carolina Week takes a look.
Plus, Anthony Hopkins is back as Hannibal Lecter. We'll preview his latest movie and some other fall movies at a theater near you.
Those stories plus a look at your weekend forecast and Tar Heels sports action.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Carolina fans are finally going home. Some of them spent almost 14 hours camping out Monday night for football tickets to this weekend's big game against rival NC State. Now it's time to get the couch and go. They got what they came for. Good evening, I'm Jenny McClendon.
And I'm Alex Lawson. Thanks for joining us. The big news on campus this week, the Tar Heel Wolfpack matchup.
The football teams meet this Saturday, but the festivities began Tuesday. Carolina Week's Aaron Dupois was at the Dean Smith Center when the crazy week kicked off.
Pizza boxes, beer cans. No, it's not a wild party, but that's what the business school yard looked like Tuesday morning, all the way down to the Dean Smith Center. It was a sleepover of thousands as Carolina students waited in line all night for tickets to Saturday's football game. The fans began setting up camp about 6 p.m. PhD student Brian Fink was the first person in line.
You don't get to do this very much, camp out and meet people that you've never met before.
They may not get to do it much, but the students were prepared. Most fans knew exactly what to bring for the long night.
I got some sun drop because it's got a lot of caffeine, got to stay awake.
I brought a lot of junk food, my sleeping bag, and some sociology reading that I probably won't get done.
Not many people were studying, most were socializing and marveling at the size of the line.
I was just amazed at the number of people who were actually lined up on the sidewalk.
Some even brought the couch.
Yeah, actually, well, we took it from someone else's room. Neighbors.
Yeah, this is definitely my room chair.
And no matter how comfy you are, you're gonna get hungry sooner or later.
Works for me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
The next morning, those pizza boxes were empty, but not in trash cans. A lot of stuff didn't make it into the trash that night.
There is a ridiculous amount. We didn't anticipate the high number of people that camped out last night. There were quite a few.
She says the CAA will discuss the distribution and changes could be on the way.
We're looking at the camp out policy and that type thing. We don't want anybody to be breaking any rules, and I'm sure we'll get some emails and stuff about people camping out.
The campers might have made a mess, but they got what they wanted, tickets to see what they hope will be a rousing Tar Heels win this weekend. In Chapel Hill, I'm Aaron Dupois, Carolina Week.
State fans are getting revved up for the game too. According to one website, some Wolfpack fans are planning to storm Kenan Stadium Saturday. Carolina quarterback Darian Durant and head coach John Bunning said they don't like the idea one bit.
We don't want anybody else's fans coming in here and trying to take over. This is our house. This is not their house, so we have to try to defend our territory.
It's an intense rivalry that goes way back, and it was a great game last year. I hope that we can give them a game this year.
Stadium officials say they are prepared if State fans go through with their reported plans. With this week, the university will officially kick off its biggest fundraiser, the Carolina First campaign. The campaign has already brought in nearly $180 million since it began unofficially in 1999. Donations will be used for new endowed professorships, more scholarships, and curriculum improvements. The campaign begins this Friday when the chancellor announces the overall goal. To find out more about the Carolina First campaign, check out our website at carolinaweek.org.
If your car breaks down, you may want to think about getting it towed right away. Local fire officials are investigating a number of recent car fires. This door handle is all that remains of a car that caught on fire last week. The car was parked on the side of the road on exit ramp 270 off I-40 East. UNC Chapel Hill junior Jenna Phillips was driving and saw the fire inside the car. She quickly called 911.
So I looked in the car to see if anyone was in there. There wasn't anyone in there. It wasn't an engine fire. It looked like the fire had been purposefully set.
Phillips says there was little left of the car by the time firefighters arrived.
Tolerance is the message on campus this week. The Campus Y is working with other groups to promote racial togetherness. Race Relations Week encourages people to get to know different cultures and races. The Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgendered, Straight Alliance is sponsoring National Coming Out Week. Events like an ice cream social can make students more comfortable with being open about their sexuality. The two groups came together Monday to host a talk by Rebecca Walker, an activist who spoke about racial and sexual identities. National Coming Out Day is Friday. Check our website, carolinaweek.org, for a list of the week's activities. Two Carolina freshmen are out of the Chapel Hill jail on bond this evening. Anna DeWitt and Alexander Bolag were arrested Tuesday after refusing to leave Representative David Price's office on Sage Road. The students were part of a group protesting the possibility of a war with Iraq. DeWitt and Bolag are expected in court November 18th to face trespassing charges.
Coming to Carolina takes some getting used to for any student. Coming to Carolina from a different country, well, that can be even tougher. But one campus program is trying to make that switch a little easier for international students.
Carolina students talk a lot, in class, with friends, even ordering coffee. But for Yu Li, a 24-year-old graduate student from China, those everyday exchanges can be a challenge.
Sometimes I find it difficult to understand really vernacular, like in class.
That's why she became a conversation partner. The program is coordinated by the International Center and pairs international students with American students. Program Assistant Director Diana Levy says the buddies' weekly chats make foreign students more comfortable speaking English.
Very often in their countries they might learn English in books, reading and writing, but the conversational opportunities are not as available to them.
Yu's graduate courses in linguistics test her language skills on the page, but she says the Conversation Partners program tests her speaking ability.
Well, I didn't expect myself to be so easy to start talking with an American student like it actually turned out to be.
The program coordinators also want international students to feel at home on campus, something Yu says is difficult when her real home and family are thousands of miles away.
I think the toughest thing may be just to settle down, to get involved. And now I think I've made a good start.
For more information about becoming a conversation partner, you can call the International Center at 962-5661 or log on to our website at carolinaweek.org.
You could be discovered by a modeling scout right out Franklin Street, but is it for real? That story when we return.
But first, let's go to Kelly Mahoney for this weekend's football forecast.
Well, it's been cool and cloudy all week, but a change is on the way. I'll tell you what the weather looks like for the big game on Saturday when Carolina Week continues.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for... Yes, I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
Hombre, dinero.
No.
Yes,
Ed
con
McMahon,
cameras.
see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on.
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
A change in seasons means new movies on the big screen.
Carolina Week's Jay Biggio joins us now for a look at some new fall movies striking it big at the box office.
Yeah, and there are some great movies out there this season. So, if you're planning on heading to the movie theaters this weekend, here are a few new films Carolina Week suggests checking out. Reese Witherspoon stars in Touchstone Pictures' new movie, Sweet Home Alabama. Witherspoon is working as a New York fashion designer when the wealthy and handsome bachelor Patrick Dempsey proposes to her. However, before she can marry Dempsey, she has to convince her high school sweetheart and current hubby to sign divorce papers.
One copy for me, one copy for you, and one copy for the lawyers.
The movie is rated PG-13.
I've got a lawyer charges
Recall, well, our last collaboration ended rather messily.
Anthony Hopkins is back again as Hannibal Lecter in the movie Red Dragon. It's the prequel to Silence of the Lambs. Edward Norton plays ex-FBI agent who put Lecter behind bars. When a number of new murders take place, Norton comes out of retirement to help track down the killer. Norton uses Lecter to understand the mind of the new killer. The movie is rated R. Walt Disney Pictures brings a fantastical tale to life in the movie Tuck Everlasting. Winnie Foster is a teenage girl who stumbles upon Jesse, a boy with an unusual family secret. Enchanted with the boy and his family, Winnie is forced to choose between her old life and a new one. The movie is rated PG.
Mind transporting something for me, no questions asked.
Why not?
Jason Statham plays Frank Martin, an ex-Special Forces operator, in the new movie The Transporter. Martin's current job is to transport packages with no peeking at the goods. But when Martin violates the rules and opens a package, he discovers his delivery is a beautiful woman. Martin's destination quickly changes, and he's left with some unhappy customers. The movie is rated PG-13. Now, Tuck Everlasting and The Transporter both come out this Friday, but Sweet Home and Alabama and Red Dragon are both already out in the theaters, and great movies.
Lots of great things to choose from.
There really are.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jade.
It's not every day that a modeling scout says you have potential, but it's becoming more common on the UNC Chapel Hill campus. Carolina Week's Ann Chafee has the story.
UNC Chapel Hill freshman Lauren Apple isn't a model, never has been. But in her first 2 months at Carolina, scouts from 2 different modeling companies have already told her she has what they're looking for.
He came up to me and said he had spotted me across campus and that I had a lot of potential.
She thinks the scout had something other than her future in mind.
I think convince you to, invest your $600 in the modeling agency.
$595 to be exact is how much transcontinental talent wanted to take Apple's picture and post it on the internet. Apple said no thank you.
I told him that I'm a college student and I wasn't going to be able to, just afford a $600 investment into a random modeling agency.
But can you trust scouts that find their new talent by scouring college campuses and then ask for almost $600 at the first meeting? The Better Business Bureau doesn't think so.
And I guess we've all heard these stories about people being discovered in the drugstore, but they are few and far between.
And the money?
It's a huge red flag anytime somebody wants money up front.
But the owner of the Raleigh Transcontinental Talent wants one thing to be clear.
We are not an agency. We do not take out commission. We do not do direct bookings. What we do is just provide a service.
So if you are approached, you have to decide if having your photo posted to the web is worth several $100s. Also, check out the company. The Bureau warns against agencies that seem to take credit for the successful careers of famous models or actors, companies that use names similar to well-known agencies, and phony ads placed in the Help Wanted section of the newspaper. The best advice might be that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ann Chafee, Carolina Week.
If you're ever approached on campus, remember those warning signs. Most of the time, legitimate modeling agencies won't be looking for new talent on college campuses.
Our weather anchor Kelly Mahoney joins us now to give us an outlook on the weekend. See what's happening.
Finally feeling like fall out there, Kelly. Finally.
It really is. It's quite a relief, and of course we're all looking forward to the weekend to see if that's going to hang on. I'll let you know if it will in just a few minutes, but first let's go to this week's weather question, which is what makes raindrops round? Is it chemical bonds, surface tension, gravity, or air resistance? I'll have the answer to that weather question and your weekend forecast when Carolina Week continues.
properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me 11 bucks. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
I helped turn my child's public school into one with extended hours, 6 days a week year-round, filled with loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. One with medical and dental services right there. A school where students are excited about learning. There's just one problem. My child doesn't ever want to come home. Turn your school into a community school for excellence. Find out how. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, October has definitely arrived this week. Changing leaves, cooler temperatures, and shorter days signify that the fall season is in full effect. Now, despite the cool gray weather we've had this week, one thing we really can't ignore quite yet is the tropics, as we are still looking out there for some signs for our forecast. If we take a look at the North Atlantic right now, satellite map, we can see that Tropical Depression Kyle is still hanging out in the Atlantic. Now, it doesn't look too apparent anymore because a lot of that convection has started to die out, and we're left with just some low-level circulation that, like I said, isn't appearing as being too bad on this map. But if you take a look at the track that is forecasted for Kyle, you can see the National Hurricane Center is kind of bringing it up toward the United States into the North Florida area, then Georgia, then South Carolina as we head into the weekend. So obviously we're really going to want to pay attention to that here in North Carolina, as it may really start to impact our weather over the next couple of days. Well, if we took a look at one more thing, riptides, it seems kind of out of place almost, but if you think about the fact that Tropical Depression Kyle has been sitting out in the Atlantic for about 2 weeks now, and there's been one confirmed case on the Outer Banks in North Carolina of a drowning thanks to riptides caused by Kyle. If you're wondering what that is, it's basically when a ton of water builds up on the coast, it has to be let out somehow, so it surges off coast, and if you're caught up in it, obviously that's a danger. So if you're weekend plans include a trip to the beach. You're going to want to keep that in mind. Well, moving on to some more weather that's really going to start to impact our weather over the next couple of days, is the satellite map. And we can see a large band of clouds situated over East Texas, and that's signifying a front that's moving toward North Carolina. Unfortunately, it's moving rather slowly, and so this kind of gray pattern that we're seeing right now, which you can see with some lower level stratus clouds that we've had today and will continue to see as we head into the weekend, well, that'll kind of stay around over the next couple of days. If we take a look at the forecast map, you can see change might start to be on the way, but like I said, it's going to be a slow change. Here's this low pressure system situated over Louisiana as we head into Friday and Saturday. It's bringing with it quite a bit of rain. Now, fortunately, it might start to dry out as it heads toward our area, and of course, this shapes up for your Carolina Week 4-day forecast. That looks like this. On Friday, you can see the chance of showers continue, high of 71 degrees and a low of 59. Saturday, we're hoping it's going to start to clear up just a little bit. 77 degrees is your high, 62 is your low. Sunday, clear up a little bit more, high of 77, and on Monday, we're looking at an improvement in the forecast. If you're headed down to the beach, you're going to want to take an umbrella on Saturday. Chance of scattered thunderstorms, high of 81. On Sunday, just about the same, a little bit sunnier. If you're headed out to the mountains instead, here's your forecast. Very typical fall weather. 63 degrees under mostly cloudy skies on Saturday, clearing up a bit on Sunday with a high of 68. And of course, that big game day forecast we've been talking about, Wolfpack comes at 12 noon on Saturday, and we're going to go variably cloudy skies and a high of about 70 degrees. So if that rain can hold off, it'll be good news. But if it can't, anyone want to guess why raindrops are in the shape of a sphere?
Mr. Broders, you got a response?
I'd like to go with the A, the chemical one.
It's close. It has something to do with it, but it's actually surface tension. It holds it together in a perfect ball. So, all right.
And Mr. Broders joins us now with sports. What else is going on out there besides football?
Well, football's a big game nationally on Saturday, but we also have some other things to talk about. So as we go to break, coming up next on Carolina Week Sports, the men's soccer team is in need of a win as the Heels try to defend last year's national championship. We'll have the story just in a few minutes.
These kids are in trouble. They're not getting high on drugs or stealing. If they were, you'd do something about it right now. But why is it almost half of all parents who suspect their child has a problem learning wait a year or more before getting help? Why? Kids with learning disabilities are smart They just learn differently. Call now. The sooner you get help, the better the chance your kid has.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. Well, the Naval Academy rolled into town Tuesday night, and Carolina tried to turn the Middies navy blue. Banners flying high at the start of the game, but there would be no push-ups in Annapolis. Carolina takes care of business early, notching 2 goals in the first few minutes of play, leading 4-0 at the half. But that would be all Carolina needed. Navy attempts to rally in the second half, but it was too little, too late. Heels win 6-1, improving their record to 8-4 on the season. Senior Ryan Kniper says each win is a positive step.
Winning tonight was, it's big. It's a step in the right direction, and every win we have is a step towards the right direction, and it gets us ready for these bigger games.
Well, at 2-3, the Heels have a big challenge ahead as they take on NC State this Saturday. Last year in Raleigh, Carolina downed the Wolfpack 17-9, a crucial win that jump-started their push to the Peach Bowl.
A good game on defense, and we made enough plays on offense to win. And that really gave us a lot of confidence winning that football game over there.
The Heels will need the same confidence and maybe a bit of luck to beat the 14th-ranked NC State Wolfpack on Saturday. Bunning says the Carolina defense must create turnovers to stop a powerful Wolfpack offense that scored 107 points the last 2 games against Texas Tech and UMass. On the other side of the ball, Carolina's offense must avoid the momentum-changing mistakes that played a large part in UNC's 3 home losses this season. But just like last year, this game could set the tone for the rest of the season.
It's a game that's pivotal in some ways. There's a lot of football left afterwards. But it's a great rivalry, and I'm really happy that we're playing at home this year.
Well, the women's soccer team traveled to the West Coast for the 2nd weekend in a row. The Heels took on #1 Stanford on Friday in a matchup of the top 2 teams in the country. The evenly matched teams battled hard during regulation, but Carolina's Alyssa Ramsey proved to be the difference as she buried a shot into the left corner of the goal in the 60th minute. Carolina wins 1-0. In their second game of the weekend, the Heels recorded another shutout, this time against St. Mary's. Forward Susan Bush had 2 assists in the 3-0 victory. With the weekend sweep, Carolina moves to 10-0-2 on the season. Since 1997, the Duke's women's golf team has bedeviled the rest of the competition at the Franklin Street Trust Tar Heel Invitational, winning 5 in a row. Last weekend, Carolina and 13 other teams looked to snap the streak and exorcise the Devils. In Sunday's final round, the Tar Heels have their highest score of the weekend, shooting 298. Carolina totals 890 for the tourney, good enough for a 5th-place finish. Carolina junior Ashley Prong is a top finisher for the Heels, tying for 9th. Once again, the Blue Devils prevail, though, against the rest of the field, winning their 6th consecutive invitational. According to Sports Illustrated, Carolina is one of the 10 best sports programs in the country. UNC is ranked 8th in the nation for 2001 and 2002. The Tar Heel program is the only ACC program ranked in the top 15. Duke is ranked 19th. The University of Texas is first ahead of Stanford, Oklahoma, Florida, and South Carolina. Well, guys, big game this weekend, but there's also some other things to talk about. Friday, let's not forget, is the men's basketball team. Midnight Madness kicking off. Festivities about 10 p.m. Stuart Scott's going to be in the house, so let's see if we can do better this season in basketball. And it kicks off on Friday night at Carmichael.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Brad.
No problem.
Experts have been saying for years, take the stairs instead of the elevator.
One group takes that advice further, coming up on Carolina Week.
Introducing the all-new Enclave. It's a minivan to the max, with features like remote control sliding rear doors, 150 cable channels, a full sky view roof, temperature-controlled cup holders, and the 6-point navigation system. It's the minivan for families on the go.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
The Ronald McDonald House is a nonprofit organization that provides a home away from home for families of children being treated at UNC hospitals. Since opening in 1988, the house has welcomed more than 1,000 families each year to stay at this safe haven. The house relies heavily on community support. How can you help? Become a volunteer. Help the house that love built. The Ronald McDonald House, the house with a heart.
Studies show that Americans are driving more and walking less.
But medical reporter Kirsten Fields tells us what one local design group is doing to get Americans back on their feet.
Carolina student Jennifer Johnston walks about 10 minutes both ways to her internship in Chapel Hill, Southern Village.
It gives me a chance to exercise. I don't always get to the gym, so I think it's a great way to sort of be active and be outdoors, and it's a regular part of my day.
This gives her 20 of the 30 minutes of daily exercise recommended by the Surgeon General. Johnston's employer is Active Living by Design, a national organization based in Chapel Hill that promotes healthful urban planning.
Here now.
Johnston works with organization director Rich Killingsworth, who says communities are important in promoting exercise.
Obtaining physical activity as a routine part of the day may sound easy in and of itself, but it's challenging because most settings do not provide the environment to accommodate that.
Active Living by Design's program aims to work physical activity into daily life. Even the organization's attractive staircase encourages people to walk rather than ride the elevator.
Experts say communities encourage active living by building neighborhoods with sidewalks broader than the standard 4 feet, bike trails that connect housing with work, and local parks within walking distance. Killingsworth says communities designed with these features lead to a better quality of life.
Well, primarily we're looking at promoting physical activity for a number of beneficial reasons, not only for mental health, but also for physical health.
However, Killingsworth says in order to benefit, people should be active on a daily basis. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kirsten Fields, Carolina Week.
Well, it sounds like a good idea. With a lot of trails and nice campus around here, it gives a lot of people an opportunity to do that kind of program.
Definitely. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation has given more than $16 million to the UNC School of Public Health to fund Active Living by Design. The group will use the money to develop partnerships with 25 communities nationwide.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Make sure to come back here next week for a new edition.
We leave you tonight with some sights and sounds from the annual Festival Street Fair.
Especially on a day like today. It's nice and chilly this morning. Yeah. It's a nice course.
Hasta Rico and Astrid.